Happy New Year. Let's take a look back at the last year and look forward to how things may change in the coming year with regard especially to crop moisture and agricultural conditions. Northern Plains, upper Midwest, southern Canada. You know what? It was not a good year, especially in the Northern Plains. That spring-summer drought, it was kind of a flash drought, kind of started suddenly, really kicked in. We did ease things off by the end of the year, but still underlying soil moisture conditions are not exactly rosy in many areas of the Northern Plains. We did see the acute drought conditions of mid to late summer improve greatly by some rainy weather in the fall and the prospects of the winter with a little more snow than average and colder temperatures than average. We'll talk about what that means. Going back to the start of the year, the drought has been ongoing in the southwest for many years. That moved northward a bit, still the southwest quite dry. We were kind of dry in the Northern Plains because the fall had been dry, but the summer last year, as in summer before last, had been actually fairly wet. And so the fact that it was a dry fall simply meant we had excellent harvest conditions. And it was really that way throughout most of the Northern Plains, upper Midwest, and Great Lakes area down through the Corn Belt. But as the year moved along, we started to get a little bit dry, but really temperature-wise, we just weren't seeing a lot of heat until we got into June. And then once that happened, extreme and severe drought became exceptional in many areas of North Dakota. Meanwhile, it continued raining down here through much of the central and southern Corn Belt, and in the west, the drought grew and expanded into much of the Pacific Northwest, especially in the forested area of the Northern Rockies. As we got toward fall, drought conditions eased back a bit in the Northern Plains, started to increase a little bit, drought that is, in the Southern Plains, and even the southeast has been fairly dry so far in this early winter period. But let's focus on the Northern Plains and go back to the start of the season. Last January, things were just a little dry, but it was winter. No one cared. As we got into the summertime, and especially in June when the heat kicked in, we started to see that drought expand. It started to get much worse down here in the upper part of the Midwest as well. This was about the peak of it in the Northern Plains. We started to get a little bit of rain. Of course, you don't just recover from a severe drought right away, but we definitely did get a little bit of moisture recharge, particularly the Red River Valley down and through Iowa during the early part of the fall. But it's still pretty dry out there, and with the forecast looking like this, likely wet over the next several months, keep in mind it is also likely to be a colder than average winter. So while there will maybe be some above average moisture January through March, that's not going to bring a lot of water, and with frozen ground over most of this area, it likely won't make much difference. Once we get into springtime, we will, just like last year, be reliant upon timely rains, and we'll have to see if they come this summer or if they don't, like they didn't last year.